Incredible 8-year-old's heartwarming act of kindness exposed how she became an unexpected star. On a sweltering afternoon in a small Midwestern town, heat danced off the pavement as 8-year-old Emma Sullivan, with her bright smile and endless curiosity, played outside her family's diner. The smell of freshly baked biscuits wafted through the air, mixing with the distant laughter of children enjoying summer break. Little did Emma know, her kind spirit was about to embark on an incredible journey that would change not just her life, but her entire community. While gathering dandelions, Emma's attention was drawn to a rusted car parked behind the diner. There, sitting in the driver's seat, was Mr. Thompson, a local veteran whose weathered face and soulful eyes held stories of the past. Today, however, those stories were clouded by hardship. Emma's heart fluttered uncomfortably. She had seen Mr. Thompson around town, usually shuffling from one corner to another, his spirit dimmed by life's struggles. She approached him, her tiny hands clutching the dandelions like little treasures ready to offer hope. "Mr. Thompson, are you okay?" she asked, her voice bright yet tinged with concern. He forced a weak smile, his eyes shimmering with gratitude. "Just trying to get by, Emma. Just trying to get by." That simple exchange ignited a fire within Emma. Determined to help, she gathered her friends and began sharing Mr. Thompson's story. They ran around town, posting colorful flyers, hoping to rouse the spirit of their neighbors. She felt certain that the tight-knit community would gather around a beloved veteran in need. Her enthusiasm was infectious, but not everyone shared her belief. In a remarkable turn of events, Emma faced skeptics. The wealthier residents rolled their eyes at her youthful mission, dismissing her efforts as naive. "She doesn't understand," they scoffed, leaving Emma feeling deflated. But each doubt fueled her tenacity. It wasn't just about Mr. Thompson, it was about compassion and community. With unwavering determination, she organized a potluck dinner at the diner, inviting everyone to share food and stories under the stars. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The diner buzzed with anticipation as the day approached. As Emma walked through town, she noticed small sparks of hope. The weight of doubt on her shoulders began to lighten. Conversations shifted from skepticism to admiration. Local newspapers caught wind of her efforts, and soon the community was rallying together, businesses pitching in, and donations pouring in. Emma felt a surge of excitement as the thought of real change began to take shape. But with excitement came fear. The weight of responsibility grew heavier. Would people come to support Mr. Thompson? Emma's heart raced as the day of the event drew near. And then, in a moment that felt like the world had stopped, she stood at the diner's entrance, facing Mr. Thompson himself. His eyes met hers, and a mixture of gratitude and uncertainty lingered on his face. The room fell silent, and in that moment, everything hung on the love of a community coming together. Emma's heart hammered. Would they embrace their shared humanity, or would doubt snuff out the light she had ignited? Emma stood frozen at the diner's entrance, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. She gazed at Mr. Thompson, who sat alone at a small table, burdened yet hopeful. The atmosphere around them was filled with whispers and glances from the townsfolk gathering for the potluck. Emma wished she could reshape their doubts with the simple joy she felt. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that danced along the pavement, families began to arrive. One by one, they filed in, laughter cutting through the thick tension. Emma's friends, Ella and Max, brought a large dish of macaroni and cheese, their faces beaming with pride. Emma's mom set out a tray of freshly baked goods, filling the air with warmth and comfort. "Look, Emma. Ella exclaimed, pointing to a group of older veterans who were now coming together. "They're here for Mr. Thompson." Emma's heart fluttered. She was so busy focusing on the adults who doubted her that she hadn't realized the other veterans were affected, too. They were showing up, maybe not just for Mr. Thompson, but for the spirit of camaraderie woven throughout their lives. With each new arrival, laughter and conversation began to blossom. The once muted chatter of adults transformed into a colorful tapestry of stories, shared memories, and encouragement. Emma saw Mr. Thompson's gaze soften as others approached him, grasping his hands and offering pats on the back. Each gesture seemed to lift the heaviness that had clouded his spirit for so long. But a sudden hush fell over the room when Mayor Williams stepped forward, the man who had once brushed off Emma's efforts. With a solemn expression, he raised a glass for a toast. "Tonight, we're here not just to eat, but to honor Mr. Thompson and those like him. Every one of us has faced a battle. Let us support our veterans, and let us remember to lift each other up in our community." As cheers erupted, Emma's eyes sparkled. She could feel the power of unity, of love. The dandelions she had gathered now felt like reminders of hope scattered throughout the diner. Mr. Thompson stood, his voice shaking as he spoke. "I never expected to feel such warmth again. You've all reminded me that kindness still exists. And Emma, you have a heart of gold." Emma felt tears prick at her eyes. At that moment, she realized that it wasn't about her getting the community together, it was about all of them coming together for a bigger purpose. Suddenly, from the back of the diner, a loud crash disrupted the warmth. A server had dropped a tray, and dishes clattered to the floor, breaking the mood. Gasps echoed through the room, and Emma felt her heart drop again. What if this was the moment things fell apart? As silence filled the air, Emma took a deep breath. She remembered the way everyone had rallied around Mr. Thompson, their spirits lifted through shared compassion. With a determined twinkle in her eye, she stepped forward, her small voice breaking through the uncertainty. "It's okay. Let us help clean it up. We're all in this together." The diner's atmosphere shifted again, this time fueled by action. People sprang into motion, helping to clean up the mess while exchanging jokes and laughter. Emma smiled. Maybe that was the lesson, it wasn't just about the big moments of kindness, it was in the everyday opportunities, the small gestures, the willingness to extend a hand. Yet, as the festivities picked back up, a feeling began to stir deep within her. A new question loomed. What would happen when the night ended, and everyone returned to their daily lives? Would they carry this spirit of kindness with them? Emma looked at Mr. Thompson, her heart still racing. She realized this wasn't just about a single night, it could be the start of something much bigger. Would she have the courage to keep this momentum alive? As the dinner chatter swelled back to life, Emma's thoughts swirled like the steam rising from the coffee cups lined up on the tables. The accidental crash hadn't shattered the evening, it had offered a moment for everyone to reconnect with one another through shared laughter. Yet, beneath the surface, Emma felt a stirring anxiety. She glanced over at Mr. Thompson. He was no longer slumped but sat taller, his eyes gleaming with gratitude as people shared stories of their own struggles and triumphs. Every heartfelt exchange seemed to boost his spirit, as if each word were a gentle nudge urging him back into the fold of community life. A few tables over, Emma heard Ella's booming laughter, followed by Max's mock-serious voice retelling a joke about a chicken crossing the road. The energy radiating from them felt infectious, but Emma's mind drifted to the reality that awaited them all after this night. The townsfolk would head back to their familiar routines, and she feared the bonds forged in that diner could fade like the twilight outside. "Emma?" A soft voice pulled her from her thoughts. It was Mr. Thompson, his hands clasped together with a faint shake of emotion. "Can we talk for a moment?" "Of course," she responded, her heart quickening with curiosity. She followed him to a quieter corner, where the hum of the crowd faded to a gentle murmur. "Thank you for what you did tonight. You brought us all together." He paused, his expression growing serious. But I need to know, what's next for you? Emma swallowed. I don't know. I was hoping. I mean, I guess I'd like to keep doing this. Keep bringing people together. He nodded, a wise look settling on his face. You see, Emma, sometimes the biggest changes start with the smallest actions. Your heart has done more than you realize tonight. But change takes time. You might feel pressure to make something happen right away. She glanced back toward her friends, laughter still spilling from their table. But I want to help now, not just later. They're finally noticing each other. Mr. Thompson chuckled softly. That's the spirit, young lady. Just don't lose sight of the little things along the way. A smile here, an invitation there. You never know how far those ripples can reach. His words resonated deeply, lighting a small spark of determination in Emma's chest. That was it. She wanted to create more opportunities for connection and kindness beyond the diner walls. Maybe even turn this event into something regular that would echo in the town long after she had left. As they walked back toward the rest of the gathering, Emma felt a tingle of excitement. If they could celebrate the small victories tonight, why couldn't they make it a part of their daily lives? She imagined a world where kindness filled every corner, every heart. Suddenly, the diner door slammed open with a gust of cold wind. The late-night chill swept inside, bringing an unexpected guest a familiar face that made Emma's heart skip. Cutting it a bit close, aren't we? Said Mrs. Sanchez, the head of the local community center, her expression intrigued and a bit playful. Emma's brain raced. Was it too late to ask her about extending the spirit of the potluck to the community center? But the clock was ticking, she felt the urgency pressing down on her. Emma took a deep breath, her heart racing like it was trying to break free. She wanted to seize this moment. Actually, it's just the beginning. Emma said, glancing back at Mr. Thompson, who watched her with a knowing smile. What if this was more than just an event? What if it turned into a movement? Mrs. Sanchez, can we talk about something important? Emma asked, her voice steady. What would Mrs. Sanchez say next? Would Emma's dream of a lasting change begin to take form tonight? Mrs. Sanchez tilted her head, intrigued by Emma's serious tone. Of course, dear. What's on your mind? Emma felt a flush come to her cheeks. The warmth in that bustling diner mattered so much to her, and now a few eyes had turned in their direction. Well, I was thinking this potluck it brought everyone together, and I can't help but want to do more. I believe we could make this a regular thing at the community center. A moment of silence stretched between them. Emma could almost hear the soft thrum of conversation around the room, waiting for Mrs. Sanchez to respond. Interesting, Mrs. Sanchez said slowly, her eyes narrowing slightly as she considered the idea. You know, we've been looking for ways to increase community engagement. Potlucks could be the perfect fit. Tell me more. Emma's heart raced. We could have a different theme each month, dishes from various cultures or family recipes, maybe even include a talent show or games. We could invite everyone, even those who don't normally come out. The excitement was contagious. Mrs. Sanchez's smile widened, and Emma felt a thrill course through her. You've clearly put a lot of thought into this, haven't you? Think about it, food brings people together, and laughter follows, right? But we'd need volunteers and support from the community. Absolutely. I can rally some help, maybe Max, Ella, and even Mr. Thompson. Emma replied, gesturing toward him, still standing nearby, his face bright with pride. Mrs. Sanchez nodded, her expression now beaming. I love it. But, Emma, remember this: every movement needs its heart and its backbone. You're willing to be that backbone, aren't you? It wasn't just about the food or fun, it was people connecting. The laughter, the shared experiences. Emma felt as if a door was opening just for her. I'd love to be part of it. I want everyone to feel like they have a place, like they belong. Then let us put our heads together. I'm in. Mrs. Sanchez beamed, her enthusiasm contagious. The crowd around them seemed to lean in, drawn by their palpable energy. Emma noticed a few faces nodding, including that of Max, who had caught wind of their discussion. Are we talking about a community potluck? He interjected, eyes sparkling with interest. Because I'm in too. I can't wait to show off my grandma's famous lasagna. Yes. See? Emma said, pleased. We can each bring something special. Over the next few minutes, more people gathered, drawn into their bubble of creativity. They began bouncing ideas around music, games, inviting local artists to showcase their work. Emma felt like a conductor overseeing a beautiful orchestra, each person adding their unique notes to the melody. But as the excitement mounted, a flicker of worry nagged at her. This was wonderful, indeed, but would it stick? Would the community really embrace it beyond this moment? All right, crew, Mrs. Sanchez called out, gathering attention. Let us set a date for our first community potluck. Her eyes sparkled like they did when she was about to share good news. Just then, a voice broke through the bustle. What about the cost? It was Mrs. Jenkins, her brow furrowed. Not everyone can contribute, you know. Emma's young heart sank. Fear rippled through her like a cold breeze. Would their plans falter at the first hurdle? I'll cover the initial costs. I'm ready to help. Emma didn't know where the words came from, but they tumbled out of her mouth as if fueled by pure conviction. We can figure it out together. There was a moment of silence as the room absorbed her suggestion. Then, one by one, small murmurs of support began to rise. Emma's pulse surged. Count me in, said a voice from the back. I could organize a bake sale to raise funds. Us too. We can bring dishes for the first potluck, chimed Ella and Max in unison. Emma's heart swelled. This was happening. Maybe, just maybe, they were ready to unite, to transform those fleeting moments of connection into something enduring. Sensing the energy building, Emma took a deep breath, eyes sparkling. So, when do we start? But just as the laughter and excitement began to rise again, the diner door swung open once more. What could interrupt this turning point? Emma turned, her heart pounding with anticipation. The laughter faded, replaced by an intrigued silence as the door swung open. A gust of wind hurried in, fluttering napkins and sending a tingle of uncertainty through the room. Emma squinted, hardly able to make out the newcomer in the bright light filtering in. Then, Emma saw her Lila, a girl from school, widely known for her talent in sports but not much else. She stood there, hesitating at the entrance, clutching a large sign painted in bright colors. Emma's heart skipped. Lila's usual confidence seemed to waver, and Emma could feel the weight of the moment settle over everyone, whispering potential stories to be unraveled. Hi everyone. Lila's voice trembled slightly, startling the gathered crowd into a moment of spellbound attention. I heard about the potluck idea, and well, I thought I'd do something special. What do you have there? Mrs. Sanchez encouraged gently, drawing everyone closer. Lila took a deep breath and unfolded the sign to reveal bold letters scrawled across it, "You matter." Beneath it were each of their names written in vibrant hues, one for every person present that she had heard about over the years but had never really connected with before. Emma watched, captivated. Lila's small act carried an enormous weight. The message was simple, yet powerful. Emma felt a lump rise in her throat. Wouldn't it be amazing if everyone could experience that feeling of belonging? I know we all just met here for the potluck, but I think it's really important for us to remember that we matter. Like, really matter, Lila continued, her cheeks flushed with uncertainty but eyes shining with earnestness. So, I want to start a "You Matter" board. We can hang it up in the community center. It'll remind people that they are valued and that they belong. Everyone deserves to feel special, don't you think? The diner erupted in murmurs of approval, as each person reflected on her words. Emma could feel the tidal wave of unity drawing them closer together, feeding from Lila's courage. That's a great idea, Lila. Max cheered, breaking the tension. We can even have everyone contribute to it at the first potluck. Bring pictures or messages, something that shows what being part of this community means to us. Totally. Ella chimed in, her face glowing with excitement. Yeah, we can all make it together. As involvement began flooding in, Emma's heart surged again. Moments like this had the potential to transform their community, to nurture connections. She could clearly see what Lila's idea could do. But as the cheer grew, doubt flickered through her. Would they have enough time to truly share their stories and make an impact? Would everyone really connect the way they hoped, or would Lila's heartfelt initiative dissolve amidst the chaos of life? The thought sent a chill through her. Just then, Lila caught her gaze and smiled, an unfamiliar confidence returning. It was a smile that told Emma she wasn't alone in this endeavor. They were part of something bigger now, a web of connections forming right in front of them. Let us get to work then. Emma exclaimed, surprising even herself with her enthusiasm. Together, we can make this community potluck a night we'll never forget. Yet, as the group began to make plans and ideas swirled around the room, an uncomfortable thought lingered in the back of Emma's mind. What if their efforts weren't enough? The echoes of laughter and chatter faded slightly as Emma caught Lila's eye again. What would happen when they faced their first real challenge? Would they remain this united? The door creaked open again, and this time, the looming figure of Mr. Thompson stepped in, a mysterious smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. He seemed to have something on his mind, something that could change everything. Emma braced herself. What message could he possibly bring now? The air was thick with anticipation as Mr. Thompson stepped forward, his presence casting a long shadow across the cheerful gathering. The excited chatter fell silent once more, and eyes turned toward him. Evening, folks. He said, his voice boomed through the small diner. I just got wind of this potluck you're planning. And it sounds brilliant. He shifted his weight, as if settling into a role no one quite expected him to play. Lila's enthusiasm began to falter. Emma could see the glimmer of apprehension in her eyes. Was this going to be a setback? Emma held her breath, hoping nobody would dismiss Lila's heartfelt idea. I'm here to offer something a bit different, Mr. Thompson continued, tapping his fingers together. You all have such good energy. This You Matter board of yours? It really excites me. You want to showcase what it means to belong, and I appreciate that. Panic fluttered in Emma's stomach. Was he going to redirect their effort into something corporate? A sponsorship or advertisement? But he held up a hand, stopping Emma's worry before she could voice it. I want to challenge you. I know the town has faced difficulties. I see it every day. Maybe we need a push, a reason to embrace that sense of belonging even more strongly. What do you mean? Lila asked, her tone filled with a blend of hope and suspicion. I'd like to organize a community service project as part of your potluck, Mr. Thompson proposed with a grin. Think of it as an invitation, a way for everyone to participate in something bigger. Something that connects us all, not just in good times. Emma felt a weight lift, but it was soon replaced by a new worry. How much time do we have before the potluck? She asked, her voice shaky. A week, Mr. Thompson replied, eyes sparkling with mischief. You can pick any project. You could help clean up the park, feed the homeless, or even start a garden. Just whatever you choose, make sure it's meaningful. Lila's face lit up. To Emma, it was a light of hope shining amidst uncertainty. That's perfect. If we all pitch in, we'll make it happen. She exclaimed, already bubbling over with fresh excitement. The doubts that had plagued Emma started to fade, replaced by an infectious energy in the room. They could band together, create meaningful connections, and do good all at once. But Mr. Thompson raised an eyebrow, looking into the crowd. But I need to warn you. Unity is easier when you're in good spirits. When challenges arise and you need to be ready to face them together. That's what true community is about. A hush fell, and a few heads nodded, reflecting the truth of his words. Emma's heart sank a little. What would happen when they faced those challenges? Would they stay united, or would cracks begin to show? As the group began brainstorming ideas, Emma caught Lila's eye again, their thoughts meeting in an unspoken agreement. They weren't just creating a board, they were crafting a mission, a movement to inspire change. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the kitchen. Everyone jumped, startled. Mr. Thompson swiftly turned, his earlier smile faltering as he headed toward the noise. Let's see what's happening back there. Emma's heart raced. What was happening to their dream of unity? Was that crash an omen of the challenges to come? Lila squeezed Emma's hand, her expression steady. We can do this, she whispered fiercely. We just have to believe in each other. Can belief alone hold them together when tests arise, or would their dreams shatter like that dish? As Mr. Thompson hurried toward the kitchen, the air shifted from excitement to tension. Emma held her breath as clattering and muffled voices erupted from behind the swinging door. It felt like the universe was testing them even before they had a chance to unite as a community. Lila remained steadfast, her determination shining through. Let's not get distracted. We need to focus on what's important, she said, her voice steady, drawing the attention of those nearby. The chatter resumed slowly. People exchanged worried glances but also began to murmur about possible projects. Ideas floated around the room, cleaning up the old playground, hosting a food drive, or even a neighborhood bake sale. Emma felt the warmth of their shared purpose building, despite the recent chaos. Mr. Thompson re-emerged from the kitchen, wiping his hands on a towel. A sheepish smile crept across his face. Sorry about that, folks. He said, looks like the pie I was making took an unexpected tumble. Laughter erupted, cutting through the lingering unease. Emma felt the relief wash over her. Lila's smile mirrored that relief, and for a moment, hope flickered brightly again. Now, let's get back to it, Mr. Thompson continued. Which project will showcase just how connected you all are? Lila stood taller, excited to lead the charge. What if we made cards and letters for the residents of Nora Pine's nursing home? They need more smiles. A wave of enthusiasm rippled across the room. People began to nod, inspired by Lila's idea. Emma watched as the passion spread, the fear of failure dying down with each positive nod. That's fantastic, Lila, Emma chimed in, her heart swelling with pride for her friend. We can include messages of gratitude, hope, anything to lift their spirits. Mr. Thompson clapped his hands together. Love it. A nice personal touch can really make a difference. Think about it, no one wants to feel forgotten. As they broke off into teams to brainstorm messages, Emma didn't stop to think about the obstacles Mr. Thompson warned them about. Instead, she allowed herself to revel in the moment. Laughter, warmth, and connection filled the diner, reminding her that their community was starting to come alive again. But as they worked furiously, one of the community members named Jenna spoke up timidly, her eyes shifting uneasily. What if we can't get enough letters finished in time? Or what if they don't even appreciate them? Emma's heart sank as she recognized the truth in her voice. What if their efforts fell flat? She quickly glanced at Lila, who was shrugging off Jenna's concerns with a determined smile. Even if we only create a few letters, it's the thought that counts. Connecting with them, even a little, can mean a lot, Lila replied, her energy sparking like a firefly in the dark. But Jenna's frown deepened. What if nobody wants to help us? What if they're too busy with their own lives? A silence followed, heavy and intimidating. Emma could feel heart stretching and retreating, just like butterflies testing their wings. Fear of what lay ahead twisted her stomach. Suddenly, a little voice piped up from the back of the diner. "I'll help." It was 7-year-old Bethany, her eyes wide with determination. "I can draw pretty pictures. Everyone loves pictures." Emma's heart swelled at the bravery of the little girl. Would this unexpected offering become the voice of hope they needed? The group turned toward Bethany, and the room began to buzz once again. As they regrouped, Emma knew that Bethany's courageous act could inspire others. But in her gut, she still sensed the shadows of uncertainty lurking on the edges of their bright plan. Could they truly overcome the doubts that loomed over their community project? As laughter filled the air, Emma couldn't shake off the feeling that they were only scratching the surface of something much deeper. What would happen when the darker challenges came knocking at their door? Would they stand firm together or fracture under the pressure? Emma felt another tightening in her heart as she swayed between hope and trepidation. Would their dream be resilient enough to survive? As the whirlwind of energy sparked by Bethany's declaration surged through the diner, Emma offered a smile just as infectious as the little girl's enthusiasm. Lila turned to Bethany and knelt down to her level, eyes twinkling. "That's amazing, sweetie. What kind of pictures will you draw?" "I want to draw flowers and sunny skies. And maybe some hearts," Bethany exclaimed, her confidence breaking through the weight of uncertainty entwined in the air. "Perfect," Lila said, and with a swift motion, she called the nearby adults. "Who else wants to participate? We need artists, writers, everyone." Hands shot up like fireworks, each person eager to contribute. Emma felt a rush of gratitude. It was as if Bethany had opened a window, allowing light to seep back into the room where doubt had settled. As excitement grew, Emma noticed Jenna standing off to the side, her frown still present. The apprehension remained etched on her features. Emma approached her carefully. "Hey, Jenna, I see you're hesitant. What's on your mind?" Emma asked, her tone soft yet assuring. "I don't want to get my hopes up. What if we really can't pull this off?" Jenna replied, her voice trembling slightly. The reality of those words hung heavy between them. "Every little effort matters," Emma countered. "Maybe we just need to break it down. Let us set smaller goals. It's not about how much we do, but the difference we make." Jenna nodded, though uncertainty still lingered. "I don't know if I'm as brave as Bethany." Emma smiled gently. "Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just showing up, even when it's hard." As the groups began to form, adults paired with children, laughter and chatter filled the room. Emma saw Bethany proudly leap from table to table, showing off her sketches and asking for ideas. Her joy was contagious, causing frowns to morph into softer expressions. People recalled significant moments in their own lives, the cards they received, the warmth of simple kindness. Hope began blooming like the flowers Bethany planned to sketch. The clock ticked away, each minute adding weight to the anticipation pressing down on them. As they began to write, Emma felt the sense of community solidifying, a bond forged through shared experiences. She could see it in the purposeful strokes of crayons in little hands, the ink from pens flowing from hopeful hearts into warm wishes. Yet, with the sounds of newfound hope, a small voice echoed in the back of her mind. What would happen when page after page began to reflect their vulnerability? The words written could open a door to a world that was perhaps too raw, too real. Would their courage match the honesty embedded in their messages? Suddenly, a gentle knock interrupted their gaiety, and Mr. Thompson opened the diner door wider. "All right, everyone. Time for a little break. I've got an idea brewing that could add a little twist." The room paused, eyes turning toward Mr. Thompson, filled with intrigue. Emma's pulse quickened. What could he possibly have in mind? Was it encouragement or something that could complicate their efforts? "Why don't we invite the residents of Nora Pine's nursing home for some pie and an afternoon of crafts?" A chance for them to get involved. He proposed enthusiastically. Stomach knots tightened in anticipation, and Emma exchanged glances with Lila and Jenna. It sounded incredible but openly exposed them to possible disappointment. What if they arrived and couldn't connect? The group buzzed with energy again, but one question loomed in Emma's mind. What if the residents didn't respond as they hoped? Would their courageous efforts find deeper footing, or would it all fall flat? Just then, Bethany clutched a drawing in her hands and skipped over to Emma. "Look! I made this for the people. They're going to love it." Emma's heart tugged. In that moment, she decided. Whatever happened next, they would meet it head-on. But would this leap of faith strengthen them, or would the path ripple with unseen obstacles? Emma could feel the weight of the decision pressing down as she held Bethany South drawing close. What would be revealed with each stroke of honesty shared? The diner buzzed with excitement as Mr. Thompson's suggestion hung in the air. Bethany's radiant smile lit up the room, a beacon of hope that others instinctively followed. Emma felt a warmth spread through her. Perhaps this was the spark they needed. Perhaps they could really bridge the gap between generations. Lila clapped her hands, bringing everyone's attention back. "All right, team. Let us make this happen. We have some preparations to do. Who's in charge of crafts, and who can bake?" A flurry of hands shot up, the energy infectious. Jenna, still standing a bit further from the fray, looked on with a mix of skepticism and intrigue. Emma caught her eye, trying to send an encouraging nod. "Jenna," Lila called, noticing her hesitation. "You're great at making things special. I could really use your help. How about you supervise the craft station?" For a moment, Jenna looked as if she might retreat, but then something shifted in her gaze. "You really think I could help with that?" she asked, her voice softer now, revealing a flicker of hope. "Absolutely." Lila grinned. "You know what kids love. This is your chance to shine." Slowly, Jenna's shoulders relaxed, and she found herself walking toward Lila. Emma felt a swell of pride. This was what they needed, an opportunity to empower each other. With a renewed sense of purpose, everyone threw themselves into preparation. Some adults began to gather supplies, while others brainstormed fun games they could play with the nursing home residents. Conversations flowed effortlessly, stories shared over forgotten cups of coffee, laughter echoing through the walls of the diner. Emma watched Bethany focus intently, constructing a colorful collage dedicated to the residents. "This is going to make them smile for sure, right, Miss Emma?" Bethany asked, her innocent optimism infectious. "Definitely," Emma replied, her heart swelling with admiration as she replied. Everyone felt the weight of responsibility, but it was Bethany's unyielding spirit that lifted them. As the minutes ticked by, ideas flowed like the coffee in their mugs. Each person was invested now, dreaming and creating together. But a lingering fear had begun to creep back into Emma's thoughts. What if the event didn't go as planned? What if the residents arrived with heavy hearts, hardened by isolation? Would they notice the effort? Would they connect with the children? Her stomach churned as she clutched Bethany's drawing tighter. Just then, Jenna approached her, a nervous smile on her face. "So, are you really sure we can make this work?" Emma took a mindful breath, allowing Jenna's worry to reside in her own. "Jenna, look around. We're creating something beautiful here, together. No matter what unfolds, we'll face it together." There was a brief moment of silence before Jenna nodded, the butterfly of anxiety resting hopefully in her eyes. It was a small shift, but Emma welcomed it. "Okay, then. Let us make this happen," Jenna exclaimed, newfound determination coloring her voice. The preparations continued as they combined crafts with laughter, every moment steeped in good intentions. The clock kept ticking, yet the collective hope felt buoyant, unstoppable. As the time for the nursing home residents drew closer, chatter diminished into a buzz of excitement interlaced with nervous anticipation. Each heart beat faster with the nearing moment they had dared to create, but Emma dared not to dwell on the what-ifs. There was strength in the room, a powerful reminder that community, once broken, could be pieced back together through laughter and love. As the door finally swung open to reveal the first few residents, the collective breath held tight. Would their leap of faith find its wings? Would this gathering of souls truly lighten the burdens they carried? Before she could dwell on her thoughts, Bethany tugged at Emma's sleeve. "I'm ready. Let us make them smile." Emma nodded, meeting the resolve in the little girl's eyes. But uncertainty still loomed. Would their effort transcend the gaps of age and experience, or would the shadows hold them back yet again? The answer was just on the horizon, and Emma could feel her heart thumping in the silence of that hopeful moment. What would unfold when generations finally met face to face? As the door swung open wider, the first residents of Nora Pine's nursing home shuffled in with the assistance of caregivers, the gentle rustle of fabric and the soft tapping of canes dancing to the rhythm of their arrival. Emma felt an electric charge zeal through her. They were about to witness something magical. "Welcome!" Emma exclaimed, her voice bright and welcoming. She stepped forward, beaming at the guests with the kind of enthusiasm only 8-year-olds possess. Behind her, the diner pulsed with energy as Lila, Jenna, and their friends greeted the newcomers, eager smiles stretching across their faces. Bethany rushed forward, clutching her collage of drawings. "Look! I made this for all of you." She beamed, practically glowing with delight. The elderly visitors, some appearing wary yet curious, shifted their gazes down to the bright colors surrounding Bethany's excited expression. One elderly lady, with wild curls and spectacles perched atop her nose, smiled, bending slightly to look closer. "Why, isn't that lovely?" she said softly. Encouragement blossomed, rippling through the gathering. Emma exchanged glances with Lila, who nodded, her eyes sparkling with hope. This was at the moment they had worked towards, the bridge spanning the gap between generations, finally materializing. As laughter and chatter filled the diner, Emma felt her heart thundering in her chest, her excitement mingled with nerves. Would they really connect? Would these smiles last longer than a glance? "Okay, everyone," Lila called, her voice slicing through the murmur. "Who's ready to start crafting?" The residents shuffled forward, curiosity igniting their spirits. Jenna stirred, stepping into action. "Grab a seat, everyone. We'll be making friendship cards, and I need your ideas." The building energy began to flow, residents and children sitting in close circles, laughter spilling over as they exchanged stories amid art supplies. Emma watched as Bethany animatedly showed her colorful drawings to the same lady who complimented her earlier. The latter's eyes glistened with joy. Suddenly, Emma noticed Mr. Thompson talking quietly with a man who looked to be deep in thought, his brows furrowed as they discussed old memories. Emma felt a warmth stir within her. This wasn't a one-way street. They were all sharing pieces of themselves, stories, colors, and laughter. They were all enriched by each other. Then, there came a point when one resident, a tall gentleman with thinning gray hair, rose slowly from his seat, gathering everyone's attention. He cleared his throat, wearing a gentle smile. "This reminds me of my childhood. We used to gather with neighbors every Friday for dinner and stories. It was always about belonging. Thank you for bringing this back to life," he said, emotion thick in his voice. Emma felt her heart swell. Moments like these were what she had envisioned. They were shining threads weaving together their community, erasing shadows of loneliness and isolation. This was just the beginning of a beautiful tapestry. Yet, doubt flickered again on its fringes. Emma's stomach flipped as she thought about all the bumps that could still come, stories of sorrow, feelings of anger, which often lingered underneath. Would they be able to tackle those complexities when they arose? Would the fragile bonds they had begun to weave remain strong enough? Then, just as if summoned by her worries, a resident began to tremble slightly, memories rushing forth, and soon the room silenced. The man stammered. I lost my wife a few years ago. This is the first time I've felt the warmth of community since. Emma felt a heaviness anchor among them, yet she saw Lila lean in closer, whispering reassurance. The atmosphere in the diner thickened, all eyes on the man as his vulnerability drew out a collective breath. But you all, thank you. You remind me of what it felt like to belong before. He paused, his words mingling with precious moments shared, and Emma saw the crowds nodding, empathy illuminating their faces. Yes. Bethany piped in, her small voice cutting through the tension. You belong with us. And just like that, the tension cracked, laughter erupted once more, joy cascading like a fountain, washing away despair. Emma felt waves of relief. This was what hope felt like, binding them through their shared stories. The evening unfolded beautifully, each moment building upon the last, a dance of connection that flowed between young and old. They crafted cards, covered in messages of love and laughter, celebrating their shared humanity amidst the laughter-filled air. As the sun began to set outside, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange, Emma felt the weight of worry lift each time someone shared a story or a laugh. The potluck touched more than their stomachs, it brewed bonds. With every moment spent in this makeshift sanctuary, Emma noticed the genuine spark igniting within Jenna and other hesitant hearts in the gathering. They had begun to step beyond their doubts and reservations. Transformation was blossoming here. When the time came to close the evening, Mr. Thompson stood, joining a small circle of jubilant chatter at the center. Emma felt compelled to approach, her heart racing. Mr. Thompson, do you think we really did it? She asked, breathless with hope. He looked down at her, a soft smile easing into his weathered face. You've done more than just this, Emma. You've stirred something in all of us. Remember, change doesn't fade like a whisper. It stays, lingers, and grows. In that moment, Emma felt the truth washing over her. This wasn't just an event, it had become a heartbeat for their community, echoing the laughter and the love. Together, they had planted seeds, ready to nurture them into a future filled with compassion. As the group began to disperse, Emma felt the warmth of camaraderie wrapping around her. Would they carry this feeling into their daily lives? Would kindness become their new way of being? Fingers crossed, she watched as the first of the residents departed, smiles lingering on their faces. They exchanged hugs, laughter echoing through the diner. There was a spark of promise, a silent affirmation that she clutched tightly as their dreams of connection surged maturely on. Would it hold through every challenge life could bring? Emma knew this was just the beginning, a phrase carried by the heartbeats of those around her, ready to commit to a shared journey, a beautiful tapestry of a community reawakened. Now, she could finally grasp it. This was her calling. There were countless paths ahead, all leading to change, connection, and a stronger community. In the heart of that small diner, under the warm light, surrounded by laughter, one beautiful thought crystallized in Emma's mind: kindness matters, and she was ready to help it thrive. So what would happen next? Only time would tell, but this night's magic would ripple outwards, and they would all be there, hand in hand, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And as that thought danced through her mind, Emma knew one thing for sure: hope now had a home. You need to subscribe now to not miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending, we want to hear from you. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share, your support means everything.